If you're a young family living in a condo that's starting to feel too small, folks, this is one of the best windows we've seen in years to upsize. East Abbotsford detached home prices are down nearly 21% from the peak of the market, and East Abbotsford townhome prices are down nearly 28% from the peak of the market, which means the math to upsize might actually work in your favor. In today's video, I'm walking you through 7 things you should consider before you upsize. Let's dive in. The first thing you should do is get pre-approved. Before you go out and start looking at townhomes or detached homes, one of the first things you should be doing is getting in touch with a mortgage specialist. This could be a mortgage specialist from your bank like RBC or CIBC, or an independent mortgage specialist. And here's why. When you work with the right mortgage specialist, they're going to save you a lot of time, stress, agony, and they're going to get the job done quickly. Once you sit down with your mortgage specialist, they will be able to tell you based on that information you provide how much of a mortgage you qualify for. This will give you clarity on whether you qualify for a purchase of a townhome or detached home. Another thing that you want to ask your mortgage specialist is, hey, if we're getting pre-approved, what kind of interest rates are we getting? Would you recommend going for a variable mortgage or a 2 or 3 year fixed? Another important thing is get pre-approved and ask for a copy of the pre-approval letter. And here's why. Once you get pre-approved, those rate holds are in effect for 90 to 120 days. If you already own a condo or a townhome, ask your mortgage specialist if you have the ability to port your current mortgage to the next purchase. If not, you might be looking at paying a penalty. Ask your mortgage specialist upfront how much of a penalty you would be paying if you're looking to sell and upsize. Next, let's talk briefly about bridge financing. Bridge financing is a short-term loan that you can get for closing on your next purchase before you close on the sale of your home. But one thing to keep in mind, folks, is bridge financing only works once you have a confirmation of the sale of your home. Once you're pre-approved, you're done nearly 50% of the home buying journey. The next thing is understand how much your home has gone up in value. If you've owned your condo for the last couple of years and it's gone up in price, this will help you with their down payment and the purchase of your next home. When my team and I come by, we'll give you an update on the current market conditions. We'll let you know whether the current condo market is in a seller's, buyer, or balanced market, the best time to list your home and upsize, and more importantly, how much your home is worth in today's market and how much you would net from the sale of your home. This is a really important step because this gives you a clear idea about how much your home is worth in today's market and how much money you have from the net sale to purchase your next townhome or detached home here in East Abbotsford. The next thing is understand the home buying process. Maybe you haven't bought a home in the last 5 to 8 years, so you forget stuff. That's why when we're representing home sellers that are looking to upsize to a townhome or detached home, we like to sit down with them. And one of the first things we want to know is why they're moving, what their main motivation is, and how long they're planning on staying in the next home. The next question we ask our buyer clients are, what are some things that are must-haves for your next home and things that are a deal breaker? So things that we want clarity on is how many bedrooms, bathrooms you need. Do you need a suite? Do you need a rec room in the basement? Ideal location? Do you have pets? Or if you have small children, are you looking for a home in a certain school catchment? And here is the reason why we ask these questions. Once we have clarity or understanding of things that are a must-have or things that they don't want, we're able to match certain neighborhoods and townhome complexes for these clients. We're also able to share information about certain neighborhoods that are either really good to live in or neighborhoods and school catchments you should avoid. One of the last questions we ask our buyer clients when they're thinking about upsizing is, do you have access to a deposit for your next purchase? A lot of people that are looking to upsize forget the home buying process and more importantly that they need a deposit. So this is another thing that you want to factor in. Do you have a home equity line or line of credit, or money saved up that you'll be using for your next deposit. And a deposit is usually 5% of the purchase price of the home that you're buying. Another thing you want to get clear on is, are you looking to buy a townhome or a detached home based on your investment budget? The next thing is, should you sell or buy first? When we're helping our home buyers upsize, one of the most common things that we're recommending to them is, if you're thinking about upsizing, one of the best ways to ensure you find the right home for you and your family is making sure we have a sale of your home in the first place. And the second thing is getting 3 to 4 months for a completion and possession date. This ensures that we have enough time to find the right home for you and your family, and also that we can match up the dates for your next purchase with the sale of your home. And I know you're probably thinking, Gary, what if we're homeless? Folks, we help a lot of young families upsize to their dream townhome and detached home. And this trick of asking for 3 to 4 months for a completion date always ensures that they find the right home for them. And once you're pre-approved and you know how much your home is worth, you have all that information available to you to make sure you find the right home for you. Another thing is, just imagine if you decide that, you know what, we don't want to sell first, we want to buy. The thing is, when you're buying a potential home, before you sell yours, you would be a subject to sale. And when you're subject to sale, you're kind of under a rush to get your home on the market. And if there's small repairs that need to be done, you don't get a chance to do that, order strata documents, or preparing your home the right way. What might happen is you find a home that you love and you make a subject to sale offer on. But if your home doesn't sell in time, there's always the possibility that there might be another offer that comes where those folks have sold their home and they bump you out and they secure the purchase of the home that you wanted. If you are a family that's thinking about upsizing to a townhome or detached home, but you need to sell your current home, no worries. We've created this free checklist for you that helps you prepare your home for the market. All you have to do to access it is scroll down and click on it in the first link in the description. The fifth thing that you want to do is budget for closing costs. You want to budget for legal fees, appraisal fees, GST on real estate commissions, the property transfer tax on your next purchase, and moving fees. These are things that you cannot roll in to your mortgage. You need funds available at closing for the property transfer tax, legal fees, appraisal fees, and the list goes on. The property transfer tax that you would be eligible to pay depends on the purchase price. So the PPT on a townhome that's worth, let's just say $700,000 would be lower in comparison to a detached home around $1 million. The next thing is, look at potential homes before you list. And here's the reason why. Suppose you're looking to upsize to a townhome or a detached home. You want to have a clear idea about the potential floor plans, neighborhood, location that you're looking at buying. So when we're helping families that are interested in upsizing, once they're pre-approved, we take them out to look at a couple of townhomes or detached homes. This gives them clarity on if this is the right floor plan for them or things that they might want to tweak for their home search. And more importantly, is this the right neighborhood or complex for you? Get a feel for the right neighborhoods. Walk the streets, visit the playgrounds, cafes, restaurants, and more importantly, talk to the local people that live there. Ask them all the reasons why they love living there or the things that they hate about the current neighborhood that they're in. And the thing is, folks, these are the best people to talk to. They're going to give you insider information that isn't available elsewhere. Another important thing to consider is parking. So if you have more than one vehicle, you might be looking at a townhouse with a double car garage or a home where you can fit the vehicles. So another thing I always recommend my clients doing is drive by the complex or a certain area at nighttime. You'll get a feel for what kind of street parking is available and how tight driving through or how tight parking can be at nighttime. The next thing is upsizing worth it? Folks, once you get pre-approved and you have a clear idea about how much your home will sell for and how much money you'll net from the sale, you have all that information in front of you to make an informed decision. This will give you a clear idea about should you upsize or should you wait. Right now, there is a lot of economic uncertainty around us with the geopolitical wars, the ongoing Kuzma trade war. So when you're making a decision about upsizing, you want to make sure you factor things like employment and things such as how much your living expenses would increase if you upsize. For some folks that have stable employment, upsizing might make sense. For others, it might mean that, you know what, it might not be the right time for you. You might need to wait. At the end of the day, folks, when you're buying a townhouse or detached home, you're doing it because you've outgrown your current living space and you want more living space for your family, kids, and pets. The most important thing to your home search is buying a home in the right neighborhood. That's why you need to watch my next video, because I walk you through the top neighborhoods here in East Abbotsford. Drop a comment and let me know your thoughts about upsizing. Is this the right time, or do you need to wait? I'm Gary Dhindsa, and I'll see you on the other side.